So my name is Raghavendra Singh. I am working as a senior QA engineer in Amazon Pay right now, associated with Amazon since last now close to 7 years. I have worked in different projects in this time span. I think I have started my journey with the Amazon.in. I have worked for Ring, Alexa, Amazon Pay, Amazon Business, and now again back to the Amazon Pay. In the last couple of years, I have created a couple of successful automation frameworks and have launched like 60-70% of what you use on Amazon Pay, something that I have launched. So that's like a brief introduction about myself. Now, before I start with, before I jump onto the session and before I start talking about manual testing versus automated testing and the topics and the agenda of the day, uh, I wanted to talk about a domain for a couple of minutes because I see a good strength in this particular evening. Thank you all first of all for joining the class and finding out time and listening to me. So first of all, thank you for that. Now let me first talk about the pros, the advantages to work in this domain, like people who are not really aware about the depth about this domain, right? Now, most of you over here maybe are a BTech student or a pass out from a B background, or some of you might be from some different background and not even from CSIT domain. But so the very first question that comes in the mind is that is this domain is specific for the people who are from the BTech IT domain? No, it really does not matter. Can you hear me now? Uh, is my voice clear
Yes,
for
sir.
everyone? Okay, okay, great. So now when I talk about this domain, when I talk about this domain, whenever a college in a whenever when we were in college, right? What was the aim? Right? We all wanted to become a software engineer. I myself wanted to become a software engineer, right? I was not aware about how industry works. IT means software developer. I was not even very confirmed on the part what is a software. According to me, a software was something, some website I would be developing, something like that. That would be a software, but software could be anything, right? That I realized when I joined the industry. So I remember when I passed out the college. I was not interested in any other job other than development. My agenda was clear. I wanted to become a developer, and just to become a developer, I kind of passed on a couple of opportunity in QA domain, in the HR domain, because I wanted to be a developer. And guess what? I became a developer. My very first company, I got into development, and then I realized that this is not something I'm enjoying of now. For whom? Uh, okay, my name is Raghavendra Singh. I will just put it on the chat itself so that anybody who joins after another 5 minutes can just have a look at it. So I just gave my brief introduction that I'm working with Amazon since last 7 years. I'm a senior QA engineer and I kind of take SGET batches for Geeks for Geeks. So have you tried HR later also, which you have missed it? No, no, no. I didn't got that opportunity. And again, HR was something. In my college, I got placed in one of the company where I did a job for around 15 days. It was a kind of internship and it was a HR kind of job. I didn't enjoy. I left that. And as I told, I wanted to become a developer. I went to CDEC. I kind of got a testing opportunity, very good testing opportunity, to be very honest, at that time. I left that and I went ahead with the development and with a lesser package. At that time, it was a startup company. But I realized that, I can code. I will say that I will rate myself 10 out of 7 or 7.5 in the development field. I can code well, but I was not enjoying. So the very first thing which everyone of us should understand, the domain where we enjoy. I'm not saying that you tomorrow you come and enroll to a QA domain. No, If let's say my success journey or somebody else success journey, if you see in this domain, it does not mean that you are going to be successful in the same domain. But if you are a kind of a person, who wants to develop a product, who don't want to involve in too much of a coding, but you want to write some code, you want to do the automation, in that case, this is the domain. QASD, is the domain which is apt for you. If you're very much interested towards data science is the domain. If you're and again, if you are a person who loves to code, who can sit and code for another 17, 18 hours, full stack development is meant for you. So again, it depends. And let's say somebody amongst us would be would be too good with screening the people, or a people person. There are some other non-technical domains as well out there for you. So it does not matter from which background or which specific domain you are coming for. From this QASDET or the full stack, now learning a technology is very easy. Anybody can go into the any domain they want to. It's just about the interest. It's just about where you want to be. Now, I see a couple of messages on the chat. We are going to do in Java. We are going to do in Java for sure. Now, before I again jump onto the part, let me talk about the career roadmap. Okay, like how it works in a Fang Mang company. Uh, by Fang and Mang, I mean Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. Mang is Microsoft, Amazon, Netflix, Google. Now, how the culture of this company, what is the difference between a service-based organization and a product-based organization? Service-based engineers are also working in some of the product companies. What service-based do? There are two business of service-based. Either they kind of provide the resources to the product base, or they create a product and they deliver it to the product-based company. This is what they do, or to the end customer. Now, most of the service-based people who are working in a service-based industry are kind of working for product industry. Like they are kind of working. There are a number of Tech Mahindra employees who are working with us as a contractor. Now, what is the difference between somebody who is in service-based or a product-based? In a product-based, it is more of an end-to-end kind of ownership. My knowledge is not very much saturated towards, okay, I am a tester. My knowledge is saturated with manual testing and the Selenium or XYZ technology. No, I have to think 360. I have to think from a product standpoint. I need to think what kind of product I'm going to deliver to my end customer. And that's where the major difference comes into picture. Okay. Now, what is the journey? How it looks like? Let me just share my screen and let me do some write up. Let me just tell you a end-to-end IT journey, how IT industry works, or how we kind of. Now, I have my pen. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. So let me first talk about a software development life cycle, how the software development life cycle works. Now, there is a product manager in every product company. There is a product manager to whom we call as PM, who is already responsible for developing the product, creating so whatever feature you see on any of the product. Let's take an example of let's say I take an example of Amazon Pay itself. And let's say there is a product manager who's coming up with a requirement key. Okay, let's go ahead and let's launch something known as Amazon Pay. Now, where is Amazon Pay? Inside the Amazon application, we have something called as Amazon Pay. Now, the product manager is coming up with a requirement. Now, before this, like this is something very theoretical. We have read about it. Because product managers come with the requirement and the process start. No, it does not. In the real time, what is happening over here? The product manager comes up with, like, let's say 1,000 sets of requirement or 10,000 sets of requirement. Okay. Now he sits with the tech team. Now, what is this tech team? These tech teams are nothing but the senior SDMs and the senior SDs, the SD3s or the principal SD engineer. and they kind of brainstorm, and basis on the budget they decide ki, out of these 10,000, let's say we finalize ki, okay, these are some 100 P naught requests that we are going to develop within this particular X time frame. Right now, once this BRD, this particular requirement is freezed, we know ki, okay, this is what we are launching. Now what happens is this product manager has given the requirement to the SDE team, or we can say a tech team. Now over here, the development process start. Now, what do you think? Where a QA comes into picture? QA comes into the picture right here itself. Right here itself, the start point. We kind of sit here and we start analyzing this request. What is the requirement, right? And what all I am going to cover in the future weeks. So I'm going to come up with a test plan. Now this test plan, I'm going to talk about in a very deep way what is a test plan, what it does, etc. So now what is but for now understand, like, this is the test plan, and we start with the test planning. We start like, so what a developer does over here at this stage, the senior SD is going to create a high level framework. And what is the senior QA going to do? He is going to create a plan. The developer is creating a plan to develop, and the tester is creating the plan to test. Okay, guys, please don't do that. Please don't write on the board. I might have to. Okay. Now, once the test plan is freezed, once this is sorted, right? We get a very first build, let's say over here, right? And over here, we start with the testing. Now, once we do the testing, everything goes well, we kind of provide a sign off. Then it is used by internal customer of the company. Once they sign off, we launch it to the end customer. This is like an end-to-end journal in general. Now, what are the roles that I talked about in this course of journey? One was the product manager. One was a software dev manager. Another one was SDE. Let's say I also have TPM in place. Then I have a QAE. And then I have finally our end customer over here, right? So I kind of summarized it. Then there are a number of people who are involved, but on a high level, this is the journey. Now, what is the advantage with a QA engineer? I will tell you that. Now, what happens is, let's say there is one developer. This is the developer. Now, what happens is, he's like, the product manager gives the requirement. Here is the SDM, or I will say a senior SDE. They are going to create a development plan, and he's going to do that development. He's going to actually write a code for that piece of BRD. Now, once he is doing this development, and what is the role of a TPM? He is a kind of a bridge between a SDE, product manager, and a QA. He makes sure that, when so many people are working together, we need somebody to manage everything. So technical product manager, basically, he kind of manage all the technical aspect. If a developer is blocked, TPM is going to help. If a QA is blocked somewhere, TPM is going to help. So this is how it works. Now, let's say ki SDE point of view, there are 10 software development engineers who are working. Okay. Now, out of these 10 software development engineer, let's say this is one SDE. His focus is toward one particular feature. He is only seeing this particular side. He is not, looking towards how the entire product look like. He is more focused towards what piece of code he is basically building, right? Now, what is the advantage with this QA engineer? I will tell you a couple of things. He is going to take care of the entire product. So I am going to have the entire product knowledge over here. Now, what is the career roadmap? Our SDE1 is going to become 2, 3, and then SDM, right? He can also transmit to TPM. 90% of the time, SDE has this path. Now, let me talk about a QA. Again, this is something I'm not just saying it for saying, but this is the Like reality, if you go ahead and talk to some of the great QA engineers in the industry, you will come to know that this is very common. Now, a QA engineer can become an SD if he wish to at any level. Let's say even if it is one, two, or three, he can move to this domain. He can become a SDET. Now, SDET of Amazon, Facebook is equivalent to an SDE. Their role is pretty much similar to a developer, right? And the whatever automation and functional testing or whatever we do as a QA engineer in Amazon or Facebook, it is a kind of an SDET outside the FANG companies. Now, he can also become a TPM. He can also become a SDM, and he can also become a product manager. Why so many options for a QA engineer? We have the privilege to explore any domain we want. The only reason we are working on a product from the start to the end of the life cycle. And again, when I say this, what is the ratio of QA migrating to SDE? Not all the QA, because generally who are enjoying this role and who know the potential of this role, they kind of migrate their career either to a SDE or SDET domain. I will say 10 out of 2. A couple of them moved as a TPM and then they become a SDM. And there are many example. One of like industry has got some of the best product managers from a QA domain itself. They were the QA engineers and they turned out to be one of the great product managers. Why? Because they work so closely with the PM that they have the insight. Now, again, we have a mixed crowd. We have so many people today in this particular class, and everybody is thinking how this looks very fancy, but how even it is feasible. It is feasible. It depends from where you have started and from where you want to go and how you have planned your career roadmap. Do you have a mentor in your life? Do you have somebody who has guided you? Like I have always, when I started my career in Amazon, I started with operations, a non-technical domain. I worked there for around 1.5 year. And I remember that, I always wanted to be in the technical. So what I did I stop thinking about it? No. And trust me, I never knew that I will become a QA engineer. That was never a plan. Uh, I just knew that in my previous company, when I went on to the QA floor, I used to enjoy a lot because I used to see that people are chilling around, they're happy, and the developers are 90% of the time very stressed. So kind of that environment used to excite me, but it was never a plan that okay, I want to become a QA engineer or something like that. So when I moved into I was in a non-technical domain just because I got laid off from my very first company. It was a small company, and there was a tight situation at that time, and I got impacted. I was not getting an offer letter. I was struggling for a job. I was a fresher, and at that time I realized, I might have accepted some other offer in the past, which I just declined just to become a developer. And you won't believe when I got an opportunity from Amazon after 6 months being jobless, I got an offer from Amazon in operations team as an L3. My starting salary was around somewhere around 40 to 43,000. That is what I started with. And I never knew things will change, tables will turn, and this is where I'm going to land up. Right? My journey from tech to non-tech and again back to tech. And again, nobody considered in Amazon okay, he was a developer. They don't care. It really does not matter to them he was from a B Tech background. Again, they don't care. In 90% of the non-tech industry, it is filled with the B Tech uh, graduates. So it was not something very fancy. And I remember in 2020 December, I kind of reached out to one of the hiring managers saying that I want to refer one of my friend, and from there I got opportunity as a QAT. And what I did in that 1.5 or 2 years, what I did, created some small tools, and that too just for the sake of promotion in non-technical. And when I was about to get that, I left that and I moved as a QA engineer, as a QAT in Amazon. It was a COVID time. They were paying very less to a L3. And I remember my salary at that time jumped to 50 or something like that. Like, and some relocation I got. But it was not very fancy. And everybody said that you are making a wrong move. Now you're going to get a promotion in a non-tech domain, and your salary will be good. It would be above, 70, 80K or something like that at that time. But I remember one thing that, I'm not enjoying this job. I want to do something which I enjoy. And that's where I joined this. The MacBook was a kick. Okay, I'm getting a MacBook. Time is flexible, you can come anytime, you can go anytime. Work is so cool. These all things fascinated me. I was just a fresher, I would say, and I never knew that things will change this way. And within no time, I was a QAE engineer, and again within a no time, I was a QA2, and God knows where I will be in future. But I can say that I got a 10 years of experience in another 4 years, I would say, or 5 years. I got an experience of 10 years, and there were other engineers. Yeah, they everybody has the equal opportunity, but it depends on a person. And I won't say ki, okay, I'm working for Amazon and that is the reason I was able to learn. It is about a mindset. So I would, to become, if you really want to do good in IT, right, in this domain, you have to remember one thing. Keep taking risk, keep taking a chance. Let's say you are right now at a very decent package, and you feel you are very good with data, and you want to explore that, and you might have to settle for what you are getting right now or something lesser than that. Go ahead and take that risk. Trust me, you won't regret it, because where you're, something which you can give 1,000% is going to give you back 1,000%. So some TED talks, and again, not just to motivate or over motivate you guys, but to let you know ki this domain is not very fancy. Fang engineers are not creating, rockets. We are also a normal. I'm a normal college graduate. I'm not some very fancy from IIT background or something like that. And if you ask me, the work that you do today, right, or is it something which anyone can do? I would say no, but like, is it difficult? I would again say no, it's not difficult. It's a little bit of training, it's a little bit of practice, and the right mindset is all you need. And if you feel, and not over just saying it for saying, but it's the reality. No one has taken more courses than me. I think I have taken more than 20 courses when I was in non-technicals. I took so many courses from Udemy. I used to explore that platform a lot. It never helped me. And this was the reason when I kind of moved as a QA and did some little bit of things in this domain. And when I came into this mentorship domain, the only kick was, and the only reason behind this was that I knew the kind of content. And again, in last 1 years, I think I have trained more than 1,000 people in Geeks for Geeks itself, and so many people outside the forum. And I have seen, this formula working, because it's the same formula that has been used on me. So it really does not matter from which background you are, from which domain you are. It's totally on your mindset where you want to be. All you need is the right guidance, right? And why and how Udemy could not help me, or some other platform could not help me. I'm not saying, again, the content is everywhere. It's there on YouTube, on Udemy. It's available at so many places. But uh, the right kind of mentorship, where key, what is the next step, what you need to do now. Let's say if someone asks me, I want to get into Microsoft at very beginner level as in a QA domain, and what all I need to prepare, I would tell, the strategy would be different. So you have to strategize things, you have to plan things, and then you have to, go ahead and try for it. So this was like a couple of like I wanted to talk about the domain, about the growth, about the opportunities. One very important thing in my career, I have noticed there was a time, I think you all must be aware about it, that couple of years back, Amazon laid off so many people. Microsoft started laying off so many people, right? That was a stressful situation. And two things I realized, in at least in Amazon, I found that in the tech org, out of 10 people who were getting laid off, again, this is something on a data that I have analyzed. It might be something up and something down. It might not be accurate, But what I saw was that, uh, out of 10 engineers, like approximately 8 to 7 engineers were developer who got laid off because the QAs are always in crunch. Uh, on 5 developer, there should be one QA engineer. But the reality of the industry is that on 20 or on 15 developer, there is one QA. So the ratio is not that great. And that is the reason the security is somewhere kind of more in the bigger organization for this domain. One of the another reason why I love working in this domain, because it's kind of, give me less stress than working for a development. Uh, TPM is a technical program manager, should be. No, I was from a tier two. I would say tier three. I don't know. It's a private deemed university. I am a pass out from Graphicera University, Dehradun. What like online DSA did you give to enter? No. Sharad, I didn't give the DSA exactly. I would say, yeah, coding round happened for me, even for the internal loops. But I think what I remember was they shortlisted me because of the internal, the work that I did in Amazon. I created some tool, I saved some money for Amazon, and it kind of it gave me a good visibility, and because of that, I got the opportunity. You didn't get job for 6 months or lack of a skill set. Okay. I would say both. Why? Because in the 6 month of experience, I didn't had much exposure. I kind of worked on multiple things. I worked on Windows based application development. Worked on Android development. So that was a small company. Whatever they used to have, they used to give me. I even created a small framework of automation at that time unintentionally. So I kind of worked on multiple things during that time. And again, in that at that time, I remember that I learned big data. Hadoop was very booming at that time. I remember I learned even that. But then I realized that they were not ready to give a fresher a chance into this domain. I was able to clear the technical round, but I was not able to clear the behavior or the HR round of in this domain. And again, now I realize why I could not clear it. Like now, when I retro, I realize, okay, now if I try to go into a data science domain, I think chances are very high that I can make a move. But at that time, if I would have tried to make into it was very difficult. The reason being, data science is not just a domain. It is about you're going to work on the data of a company, and basis on your evaluation, they are going to take some critical business decision. Now, imagine if something goes wrong, some blunder you do, right? It is going to cost company a lot of, it is going to cost company, just give me a second. It is going to cost company a lot of money. And that is the reason, at that time, nobody wants to take a risk in their business, right? Nobody wants to take a risk. So that was the reason, I kind of, uh, I was not able to get shortlisted. But now I realize how critical it was. Everything is data driven, and data is damn important. So yeah. Any other questions, queries anyone has? Anything you want to ask? Can you please share what kind of projects you have done and which technologies you followed? Okay, yeah, sure. I have worked on, as I mentioned, I worked on Ring. Ring is a company acquired by Amazon a couple of years back, and they launched a new device called as Ringtercom. It's a smart intercom device. I worked on that device launch product, and it was my first project. And by the grace of God, it was a project which is started from the scratch. That project is started from the scratch, and I worked till the alpha, I guess, beta release. And it was an IoT device on which I work. Ring is a software application. So it was a mix of IoT devices and the software side. My key role was to test the software with the hardware and to automate the software part of it. At that time, I think I used Java. I used APM. Because it was a mobile application. We used Jenkins for pipeline. I think, yeah, and report portal for the reporting mechanism, etc. Over there. When I moved to Alexa, it was all Python, which we were using in Amazon's internal framework. The base was APM and Selenium. And again, I was never aware about Python. So I joined today and I came to know it's Python. But I know the trick, how to switch the, language very quickly. And you don't need not to learn all the languages. Learn Java, it is more than enough. You need not to, move on to any other different kind of language. I moved to Amazon Pay. Here I worked on both Selenium, APM. I also worked upon whatever you see on Amazon Pay right now in recharges bill payment section. Most of the things is something that I helped Amazon Pay get launched. Also, I in automation again the same technologies. So yeah, again different automation technologies. Like I also used snapshot automation. I also now again we are exploring AI related automation as well these days. So we are, I'm working on those stuff as well. So the list is long. Like would be I need to recall all and I need to paste it down for here. But yeah, bottom line, this is what I have used. Who was this? Jingyasa. Okay. I hope the Jingyasa this was clear. Surbi, sir, I had done my BTech in 2024 and after that I was unable to crack the job. So I'm going to start my MTech CSC. Can you give me a path that I should follow where I have more in DSA and Python, not too much question solved? Surbi, if you are going for MTech, I would recommend that start preparing for FANG and MANG since day one. Uh, MTech, gaining a knowledge in MTech is one thing. How to you would be writing a research paper, etc. So that is one thing where you have to put your effort, but also, kind of, you have to also start kind of preparing for the core domain itself. You have to make sure that you are actually uh, we are working on a plan of how to crack the interviews. I think Geeks for Geeks also kind of conduct mock interviews. They also help in counseling part. You can check with the team, or maybe I can check with the team and can let them know. But definitely you can create a plan. So one simple piece of advice I can give you over here is that solve one questions every day. One question every day. There is a trick to solve it. Let's say today was your day one and new Java, and you started with, let's say, one problem statement today, you were able to solve because it was very easy. Second day, again, one problem statement. Now you got stuck. Now you don't know how to proceed ahead. Now what to do? Go to the AI, ask for a solution, debug the code, dry run the code, understand the logic, and then try to think how in a different way you can solve it. Again, I'm pretty sure you won't be able to do it, but doing this brainstorming on that one particular problem statement for next couple of hours is going to, train your brain in a way that after 20 or 21 days, you will be in a shape where, you will be solving a good level of questions. Next day, pick up a new problem, do the same stuff. So your DSA part would be good, and I think learn one technology, be it full stack. So again, I will never recommend. Let me tell you guys one more thing. If you are thinking that you will develop one website or a mobile application and you will get placed, no, that is not going to help you. Guys, just give me 1 minute. There is one important call. I need to take it. Just 1 minute. I'm really sorry. That was an important call. I have to take it. Uh, okay. So now, again, we were talking about okay, now we were talking about the the interviews, Surbi, how you need to prepare. So you need to make sure that every day this practice of DSA and one language and one technology. If you want to go into a QA/that domain, take some full stack QA/DET course and learn end to end and do some real time project. If you're taking a full stack development project, solve a real problem, irrespective it is a big problem statement or a small. Even if you are solving a pain point for somebody who has a store just beside your house or a college, and he is struggling with something and you can solve using a technology, that is a great example to crack an interview. So I remember, if I am going for a campus drive, and if somebody who is coming and saying that they did some very less use of a technology, but they solve some real time problem statement rather than somebody who has taken a code from a Git and sharing it to the sharing it in the interview, that is not much impressive. Impressive is like when you solve some real time problem. So look for some real time problem statement, solve either for you yourself or for somebody whom you are surrounded with. uh Proper roadmap from us so roadmap for what? Roadmap for full stack development, roadmap for QA engineer, roadmap for data science. What you want to know the roadmap? The roadmap is very okay. Let's say I talk about full stack development, and I will also talk about this thing, your QA engineer role as well. Like how you can migrate to this domain. What are the steps you need to do? Two things. Okay, okay. Now, very first thing, let's talk about development first. Now, if I want to become a full stack developer, I know one thing. If I need to clear an interview in a good company, three things are required. One is my coding should be really good. Okay, my DSA should be really strong. Second is I should be having at least one project in my resume which I can explain end to end. Third thing, I need an opportunity into that particular organization to clear the interview. These are the three steps, right? Now, on the first step, there are n number. You need not to take a course to learn a DSA or a Java. Not needed. There are contents on the YouTube. You can watch that, you can see that, and you can get yourself enrolled for Java, or you can learn Java and one language and the data structures concept. And then you have to solve one question every day. Make it a habit. And it is not a 2 days thing for our development side. It is not a 2 days thing where if you are thinking that okay, in 2 days I am going to learn everything. It is not going to happen that way. It is going to take some good amount of time. So at least 6 to 8 months you have to dedicate on your learning part. I would say DSA is for in 3 months you will be very good in DSA. People who think DSA is difficult and I cannot solve it, it's all in your brain. Come on, it's not really that difficult. It is just that we all have passed class 12. We all have learned physics, maths, right? It is easier than that. And what we need to do, we need to every day. Math is something we cannot learn in one day, 10 minutes before the exam or 2 hours before the exam. Same applies on DSA. You cannot prepare it 2 days before the interview. It is not going to happen. It is a math. You have to practice every day. So every day, one problem statement of data structures algorithm, and you are actually setting and you're solving it. How to solve it? The other area. You came onto the this part and you don't know how to solve the question. There is a AI assistance with you. There is chat GPT. There is Gemini. There are so many AIs present in the market right now. Pick one, go ahead and ask for a solution. Now debug the solution. If you're not able to solve in first 20-30 minutes, if you're not able to think on a logic, go ahead and take help of an AI. Now kind of debug the problem statement. See what is the solution. Understand that. Then again, pick a new problem statement the very next day. Once you start doing it this way, in another 20-30 days, you will be able to solve questions on your own. This is a trial tested method. and this has worked for so many people who are like zero in DSA. They have gone from 0 to 100. So this actually works. So I always recommend this to everyone. Another thing is now you have to work on the technology. Now I spend 1 hour on the DSA. I would be spending another 2 to 3 hours learning a technology. In full stack development, of course, there are so many things to learn, and then you have to pick up a real time project, right? You have to pick some real time case study and you start developing that. And again, how you are going to get that? Company like Geeks for Geeks, they are actually, giving you so many real-time projects to solve. Just go ahead, enroll yourself, learn from there, and definitely it is going to help you. What is the third step? Uh, Interview preps are secondary. First is how you are going to get the interview, shortlisted for yourself. How you are asking for a referral, that is a big thing. Now let's say you are not prepared today, and I know that after today's session, my LinkedIn will be flooded with so many requests ki, sir, please refer me. And I never say no to people who ask for a referral. I'd happily do it. But even if you get a call for the interview, what was the agenda was to get a call of an interview, or the agenda was to clear the interview. You are not prepared just because you wanted to get a referral. You are kind of wasting your opportunity. So don't do that. Companies are hiring 365 days. The big companies are hiring 365 days. So opportunities are always going to be there. So you need not to worry on that front. So what you need to do, you need to make sure that you are actually prepared before you ask for a referral, right? So these are some day-to-day practice for a dev. For QA, the same thing, but the DSA level decreases. Instead of full stack development course, there is a QA SDET course present in the market. Go ahead, take that, learn it. You need to know end-to-end technology. Like if I am hiring you, I should be like, okay, this guy knows everything. I need not to, and now we are into a world of AI. Nobody has time to handhold you and make you learn. That era has gone where, engineer used to get hired and then they used to get a training for 6 long months or 3 long months. And then they used to know. That era has gone. People are asking for engineers who can come and start delivering results within the very first week itself. So that is the pace where we are. So we need to cope up with that. Like it take very much. Okay. Uh, I solved lead code for today in 2 hours. So shall I check solution in 1 hour or what time? Like it takes very much time according to me. Neve, my name is Raghavendra Singh. I don't know if it was not mentioned in the invite, but yeah, my name is. Let me again paste it for you. This is my name. So Raghavendra, it is. Yeah. So yeah, you have to time bound. I would say yes, of course you have to time bound. You cannot initially, even if you're taking 3 hours, that is fine. But after a month, it should be reduced to 1.5 hour, and after a month again, it should be reduced to 1 hour, and it will happen. So you time bound things and do, and you have to train your brain. Eventually, once you cover 100, 200 questions of lead code, right? Eventually, something will come from that only, and it will click your brain in the interview. So don't worry. Sir, in which company? I'm working for Amazon, Kaushik. Uh, Sir, many of us find problem in choosing a specific domain. Start learning in a specified path. Can you suggest some point by which we would be able to choose a domain? Yes, definitely. Now, if you are not enjoying the code, let's say when you sit and you try to do coding, you're not very excited. You are like, okay, fine, I'm doing it for the sake of doing, right? Or to get something. It means you're not enjoying development. It means definitely development is not for you. I tell it to all the people all the time. IT is flooded with so many domains. Don't restrict yourself to one. If you are enjoying coding, development is the path for you. If you are actually not good with the development, let's say, but you want to be in IT, you love to, see how products are being developed, and you are good at finding bugs, or you are good at finding, I would say that you are good at finding issues in everything, or you are good at finding mistakes of people, right? You enjoy doing that. QA is the domain. Just kidding. But this is one part of us that this we find bugs. And at the same time, you love to write some code at times. You love to do some kind of automation. You want to do some kind of management work. QA is the best domain because here you are going to manage the stakeholders. Here you are going to do the automation. So coding is involved. Here you are going to do the manual testing as well. So there is like n number of things that we do. So QA is the domain. Now let's say data is something which excites you. Like you love to solve long queries, 1 page, 2 page queries. You love reading that, and you love to work around with the table. Go ahead with the data science. That domain is meant for you. So it all depends where your interest lies. QA is something a very easy domain. Like people usually try to get into it now. Again, in QA domain, in my LinkedIn post, I think 2 days back only, I posted like a difference between a 5 lakh LPA QA and a 50 lakh LPA QA. There is a difference, right? So why companies paying some engineer, some senior QA engineer a package of 50 lakh and a junior QA engineer a package of 5 lakh? What we both are doing the QA, we both are actually finding the bugs, we both are actually doing the automation. Then what is the difference? The difference is the mindset, the thought process. I never restrict myself with a feature or a specific requirement. I go above and beyond. I actually kind of raise enhancement request. I kind of suggest the enhancement ideas for the framework. So that is where the difference comes in. I hope that will help, Kavita. It's again a long, it's a big topic to discuss upon. But yeah, I hope this helps you. I already share Kumi a couple of minutes back a proper roadmap. Uh, uh, okay, thanks, Mohammed, for replying. Skills for QA domain, Java, manual testing, coding. Now what in coding? uh I would say list, arrays, strings. If you're wanted to start like in the initials, this is enough. uh Basic concept, oops concept, the basic knowledge concept of constructor, all of these things in the Java front. And then I would say Selenium, one technology in automation. A knowledge about all the technology, knowledge about the framework, how it is being developed, most important thing. And then difference between the technology that we learned, the test NGs versus the Selenium, etc., etc. And then we should know some reporting tool as well, and then we should know why we are doing the automation. That is very important. Okay. Yaniv, sure, I will do that. Thank you so much. Sir, how can I develop genuine curiosity and stay consistent? But like I always start DSA and stopped at LinkedIn. Don't learn all the concept at a time. Prabhat, I would recommend pick one topic, let's say linked list, and then solve at least 10 to 20 problem statement on that. Then move to a next one. This will give you a lot of confidence. Ki, okay, now I am able to solve a couple of things, and that is going to boost your confidence over there. Any other questions anyone is having? Okay. Okay, cool. Now let's get started with some of the stuff we decided to talk about today. Uh, Core subject aptitude should be needed. I don't think so. If you're a college pass out, right, prepare some operating system concept, computer networks, a little bit of. I think that would be fine, but generally people don't ask. Now a mentality of the hiring industry is very, very changed than what it used to be in my time in 2016 or 15. Now we are looking for someone who is capable to solve things. The problem with even I would tell a harsh reality. we have multiple openings in the industry. We need engineers, like be it data science, be it any domain. But the problem is we are not having the quality engineers, and now company does not want to spend time on training. And that is the reason there are multiple training platforms which are increasing in the market. But the problem is trusting the genuine part of that. We don't know whether they're genuine or not, how they are. We again, there are trusted industries like Geeks for Geeks. Again, I'm not promoting Geeks for Geeks. I personally, I have learned from Geeks for Geeks when I was a student. So that I don't know, when Geeks for Geeks was only publishing notes on their website, I used to read and learn from Geeks for Geeks. So and from that time I'm into this. So that's the reason I find it genuine, and that was the reason I kind of volunteered. Ki, okay, I can take some sessions for you, or I can participate taking sessions for you. So you need to have industry training, I would say, and every BTech student, and that makes you different, right? If you are coming up and saying that, I developed a hospital management website, I developed it long back. I remember I recently went to my college itself, Graphic Era. They invited me to become an invigilator for a day and to help their student identify the gaps. And I was shocked. I was shocked from the core. I found that, still the college students are developing hospital management. They are have in the name of AI/ML, they are kind of showing me the code which is present on the internet, and every student was showing me the same code. And my problem was that why can't you go ahead and create something of your own? You can go back, create a basic application which is solving a real-time purpose, and you can say, this particular shopkeeper or a businessman or anybody, I have changed his life with the help of a software, and this is what I have developed. I'm telling you that that is going to create a huge impact in your interview, a huge impact in your interview. I hope that helps, Surbi. Yep. Okay. Okay, let's today talk about introduction to a software testing and the automation and how we do and what we do. I will just take one quick round of. Okay, let me get started with the same. Now, when we talk about a software industry, right? When we talk about the QA domain, or I will not jump onto the automation right away. I would rather first, there are people in the room, I don't know. Uh, okay. Now, now, before I jump onto the automation, let's first talk about what is testing, right? Now, let's say there is a mobile application, or let's say there is a web application. I will keep it simple. Let's say there is a web application. This, what you see, tutorialspoint.com, is what? It's a web application, correct? Now, this is the web application which is being developed by a developer. Now, this will be having thousand and lakhs of lines of code written, right? So there would be one particular project where lakhs and lakhs of lines of code are written. And let's say 100 developer are contributing towards the same project, right? Now, let's say if some developer is adding a piece of code here, he might miss that, there was, or let's say some developer made a change over here. at this particular, at this particular line of code, he might not know that this change was actually also impacting some other area, and that's where the issue arises, which we call as bug, right? Now, who is going to identify such issues or such bugs? It is the QA who is going to do that. It is a QA engineer who is actually going to identify these bugs, right? But is it sounds very simple, right? It's all about bug. But why industry is up now putting so much money on the QA? Earlier, QA used to be a luxury. That okay, if I'm having 20 developers, I will hire one QA just to ensure that everything is working fine. They used to be treated as a luxury and the growth was not that great. But now why industry has started putting efforts to ensure that they are hiring QA engineers? The only reason is that everybody needs a quality product. Will you use an application which is actually lagging? You will immediately switch on to some other platform. We have so many options out there in the market. So what we need a high quality product. And who is going to give that? A QA engineer, an SDET engineer are going to give that particular thing. Now, in testing, the very first thing, why a QA engineer exists to find a bug, to stop a bug to leak into a production. He should find a bug right into the right timings and at the right environment. Now, let me first talk about environment. To the people whom I'm assuming, you are all college grads and you don't know, there are three different environments. Let's say this is facebook.com. This is what? This is production. This is there would be some production environment of Facebook where you would see this fb.com URL. Now, similarly, we have dev, we have QA, we have pre-prod, and then we have prod. Now, this was fb.com. This was preprod.fb.com. And this was qa.fb.com. And this was dev.fb.com, right? All our URLs, when we are hitting it, we are seeing some experience. So what is happening when a developer, a single developer, or let's say hundreds of developers, they are writing a piece of code on their local machine and they are pushing it to somewhere, right? So all the code changes of developer are present over here, and they have created a domain for it, let's say dev.amazon.com. Now, what is happening over dev.fb.com? Now, what is happening over here? All the changes of developer are present in the development environment, and this is the most unstable environment because every time somebody is creating something, pushing something, so it is never stable. Something or the other thing would be breaking over here in this particular environment. But when the code flows from dev to a QA environment, this flows via pipeline. We are going to learn a concept of pipeline also going forward. So the code flows via pipeline from one environment to another environment. Now, over here, the code which comes, it is very much filtered. It is very much sorted. There is a code freeze that happens in a dev environment. Okay, these are the only changes that are going to go because these are the stable changes. Developer knows what they are developing, right? So they will say, okay, I was testing in this particular environment. I just joined the meeting. What did I missed? Concise. Actually, we are talking from last 1.5 hour. So it would be difficult for me to repeat all of it, Ronak, but we were mostly discussing about the domain. I was talking about myself. I was talking about what you can do, how you can achieve, all those grounds. And now we are talking about how an application is developed, where a QA comes into picture, what is the manual testing, what is the automation testing, and all of it. Yeah. Recordings are going to be there. You can catch up with that. Now, in the QA environment, these are pretty much a stable environment compared to dev. But we find bugs and everything, whatever testing we do on this particular environment. Let's say if we find a bug, we raise a ticket or a same and we say developer to fix it. Again, developer write a piece of code, push it, deploy the code into the QA or the Gamma environment. We again test it, and if everything works fine, we give a sign off, and changes are moved to this pre-prod. Now this is more stable environment. Over here, there were plenty of bugs. Let's say over here there was 100 bugs. Dev did some filtration, but still here some 20 bugs we found. Over here, hardly 4 to 5 bugs were identified. There are bugs which got leaked. So this over here, let's say some senior managers, some senior leadership, vice president, all those are using our product at this particular stage. Once they give the sign off, it is launched for our end customer. Now, again, for the end customer, let's say there are 1 million customer of Facebook. Do you think Facebook is going to, or let's say 1 billion, just a random number I'm taking. Do you think Facebook is going to launch a new feature for 1 billion customer? No. It is first going to launch for its first 10% of, for only 10% customer. And then it is going to see how its customers are reacting. And how it will come to know? Because on every page, Facebook has added a listener who is watching your activity. Okay, he came to this page, he did this, he did this, he did this. Now, if you are getting, let's say, blocked at the login page itself, right? In that case, Facebook will come to know. See, okay, the alarms will be triggered, and Facebook will come to know that okay, at this particular page, people were getting dropped off, and that's where Facebook will ensure that he is going back and fixing that before it. And again, it is going to follow the same cycle, QA cycle, pre-prod and prod. To find the debug in the code, the QA engineer should learn the all language to find. No, that is not needed. Why you should know all the languages? And who asked you to debug the code of a developer? Nobody. We don't do that. I don't know if you do that, but we hardly do. We kind of check the unit test cases that they write, but and again we know what kind of languages they are using, and language is again not a concern. You can check that the unit test case has the coverage, but I don't think you need to debug the code and you should know all the language. No, one language is more than enough, Ankita. Okay. Now, so far, any confusion, any doubt in understanding the entire flow of environments? These are called what? Dev, QA, pre-prod, prod. These are what? These are environments where the code flows. Okay. Uh, Again, Karan, not restricted to any programming language. You can learn any language, but know it well so that you can solve any problem statement. Be it C, C++, Java, Python. Java is recommended because Java is used 90% of the places. That is the reason people recommend Java. In QA domain, again, just to clarify. Now, let's talk about a bit on manual testing. Okay. Now, I told that there were environments. There was a dev environment, then there was a QA environment, then there was a pre-prod, and then there was a prod. Over here, when the code came, a build gets generated. And when that build, what is a build? Let's talk about this. What is a build? Right? Build is nothing but your end customer. Let's talk about in a very layman language. You all are using mobile application, right? Everyone over here is using a mobile application. Do you think Facebook, the app that you are using, it is what? It is a build. Now, what is that build? It is a bunch. That is a bunch of code packed together, right? Thousand and imagine how immense Facebook would be, how immense the code of Facebook would be, and everything is collated and framed together and packed together and bundled together within one application, and that we called as a build, right? So build is something again in a QA environment. Let's say there was Facebook which was about to launch a new feature. You won't be able to see, but I will be able to see. Why? Because I'm a QA of Facebook. So being a QA of Facebook, what is going to happen? This particular build is actually going to be with me, and I am going to test it. So what I'm going to say, let's say Facebook developed the login page. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to enter the valid username, valid password, click on submit and check the experience. Valid username, invalid password, click on submit button, check the experience. Now whatever I am doing, I'm going to write it down. So when I write it down in the English language, verify if the login is working fine, or if the login is verify if the login is successful when a customer logins with a valid username and an invalid password. Customer should be restricted. This is what? This is one test case. So similarly, I'm going to write down all the test cases that I'm going to test before I start my testing, because I'm not going to remember everything, right? How would company restrict new feature to be rolled over to tech? Can you share something about it? Because FB.com environment is same for every customer. Production environment is same, Sharad, but it is controlled via some kind of gate. Every company has their own internal way of deploying a code. They have like, again, I cannot disclose the tool what Amazon uses, but every company has their own release system and tools present, using which they kind of release the feature in chunks and pieces. They do not, like, sorry, to they release the feature to their customer, not in a single go. Correct, the canary release. Right, Jagdish. So, Sharad, basically, no one launches for the product 100% for the customer. Imagine there was a bug. QA also could not find it. Reached to the production. And what happened? All of a sudden, there were like 2 billion people getting impacted. They are not able to log in. Even if they're getting blocked for 30 minutes, Facebook will be suffering so much of loss. So that is the reason this kind of decisions are made. This looks good that you guys are so active, asking questions. And again, no question is a stupid question. Ground rule: you join an industry, you want to really grow in your life, in your career, keep asking questions. If you think, my question is a very stupid question. I remember when I logged my very first bug, I joined Ring. Sorry, I'm diverting from a topic for 5 minutes, but this is important. uh, when I joined Ring as a QA engineer, I was not aware about testing domain at all. A little bit knowledge I had, ki, okay, they do the testing and all, but not very thoroughly aware ki, okay, what they do and what happens in the industry. So when I was told to find a bug in a feature, I actually find a bug in the login page of the debug build. That too, a build of a QA environment, not even production. And I logged the same. And during the stand up, I said to in front of a dev team that, I identified an issue. And in a bigger companies, every team owns a different feature. My team was owning something else. Login was not under a part of my team. And when I said, everybody was laughing in the room. Like some of them laughed in the room or smiling. Hey, this question is so stupid. But I didn't felt at all, I'm asking something stupid. I kept on doing such foolish activities, and I kept on doing those stupid moves. And after 1 year, I got appreciation from a very senior SDM, saying that he has a different thought process and he has a good hold on the product. He knows things in and out. And that was only because I kept asking questions. So it's okay to ask questions, right? Uh, Sorry, I could not disclose my package uh, uh, over here or be it anywhere. I think that is not the appropriate question, Anurup. You can just explore the Glassdoor or some other platforms for that. I'm really sorry. So you need to understand that asking questions is going to. Somebody was saying something. Okay. Now, uh, keep asking, keep doing mistakes, keep learning from them, keep moving, right? You don't have to 110%, 100. Surbi, not only you, I think every single person who is a fresher, who is currently into non-technical, who is currently struggling in their current job and feeling that, this is so damn difficult. Trust me, it is all going to pay you off. Keep hustling, keep working, keep a positive mindset. and just go through it. Arey, what will happen? I have seen people, especially the manual tester, they are very scared of writing a script. I was one of them. Very super scared how I'm going to write or contribute a code into an Amazon ecosystem. Too scared. But trust me, guys, it was good. It was really good. In my very first CR, I got 72 commits. So I wrote a code, we send it to the review. Then there are SJs, there are senior QA engineers who review. So I was a QAT at that time. And I remember I got 72 comments. And it took me a month to solve all the comments that I got in my code. But you know what? After that, I had so good learning that within 1.5 months, I automated approximately 80% of the P0 test cases alone. I used to sit after the office and I used to automate because it used to give me a kick. Wow, my code is running. My code is running. And because of that, I got a good visibility. I got a promo. So that's what I'm saying, that keep doing, keep hustling. If you feel that today was it's a monotonous life, it's not ending, it is going to end, you are going to break that loop. I keep challenging myself. Even right now, I'm sitting in front of you after the office, coming and talking to so many of you, and motivating you guys, or going for a guest lectures or the webinars. It is very tiring. Spending my weekend over the training part, it is very tiring. And then again, I sit and learn so many things. I also have a mentor. I have also enrolled in some of the courses. I won't disclose that, but I also sit and learn. Learning has no age. You keep, because the more you learn, the more confidence you get. How many of you know how the ecosystem in the industry industry work? Can I get a quick response of one as yes, zero as no? Can I get, like, we talked about so many things. How many of you were aware about it earlier? If you were aware about it, one, no, then zero. So many one zeros I'm getting. 1 0 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 1 0. This is a learning, right? And how I motivate myself, I will tell you that. Whenever I feel exhausted or whenever I feel too low, I just don't do anything. I just sit and then I think, ki I'm flooded with work. I am just too flooded with work. But this is what I wanted, right? Remember a day when I was not having any work and I was struggling for, like, at least, like, I used to think that even if I get a 10,000 rupees job, I will do it. And think about a day today when universe has blessed me, the God has blessed me, Mahadev has blessed me with everything. This is what I actually dreamed about. Why am I getting tired? It's okay. I can rest and I can restart again. It's okay that today was not my day, but tomorrow it would be. It's okay that today I got a harsh feedback from my manager, but that was for my own good, right? Tomorrow I'm going to improvise and I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you, hey, this is how I am. It's happened. It happens with everyone. Or let's say I'm learning something. I was expecting, okay, I will learn this and this will happen. And it did work that way. But trust me, my knowledge didn't get wasted. Now I know that what I can do, where I can use that. And it works. It actually works. So right now, I think I came from work and from 7 was the session. I rushed toward the laptop and everybody in my family was like, why? Why you? It's okay. Earlier it was weekend, now on weekdays also you are kind of involved in these things. And I said, no, there are so many people out there, and the motivation over here, so many out of you who comes here, and I'm sure that out of 148 or 150 audience who are present in this Zoom meeting itself, I don't know how many how many people are there watching me live on YouTube. I'm not sure about that, but at least over here, whatever audience I see, out of this 150, I'm pretty sure at least 10, 15 people are going to go back, going to sleep thinking I learned so many things today. And they will get a motivation of doing something in some direction. And trust me, every month I get at least 10 to 20 messages every month. And again, I'm not saying it for saying that, this happened in my life. I was following this and this happened in my life. And that is the kick that I get. That happiness that, I'm able to return something back to the community, right? So right now coming here, super tired, still talking since last 1.5 hour. The whole agenda is that each and every one of you who thinks or who are struggling right now or thinking, it's painful, guys, it is all going to be worth it. What you need to do, you need to do the retro. Am I on the right track? If you didn't clear the interview, were you on the right track? Retro, right? And this I learned from one of the candidate who kind of reached out to me for. I don't have a YouTube channel, Ankita. I'm not on YouTube. Yeah, LinkedIn I have. I'm not sure if it is allowed to share LinkedIn, but you can search me on LinkedIn with the name of Raghven Singh. You will get that. Uh, yeah, sure. So, so the thing is that uh, when I actually started this, came into this domain, I know the struggle, I know the pain point, and I know each one of you in the field right now is facing the same, right? Most of you. It's going to happen. Retro yourself. So I was talking about the guy who took a mock interview and I asked him what was the reason. And he said that, I got rejected twice in Microsoft. I really don't know the reason why I got rejected. Every time the reasons were very vague. And that mock interview, once he gave it, I gave him a list of gaps that he had. And I said, you need to fix each one of them. He fixed those. Right now, he's working in Microsoft. It's been 5 months. Last year, he reached out to me. 3 months, he trained himself. 2.5 months, and he was able to make it. It was his dream company. He's working over there. Retro where you are going wrong. If somebody else is doing, if I am working in Amazon, you can also work, right? So the correct mindset, the positive mindset, right time retrospective with yourself, it's going to help you all. Now, sorry,
Yeah.
I request everyone to be on mute because we have a good audience today. It would be difficult if people start talking. LinkedIn. Okay. Uh, I hope that helps. Okay, now coming back, coming back to the basics again. Uh, as a QA, I wrote the test cases. But is my job to write the test cases only? No. There are pretty much more things. But since today, I'm not going to talk about a test plan. Uh, what is the most important thing? I will get back. Like, let me first finish this topic. Again, I will get back to your question and I will address it. Now, since I have to talk about the difference between the automation, the manual testing today. And again, we will be seeing some practical demonstration today. I will show you a very small uh, framework based creation of a framework, and we'll see some of those as well. I need to spend some time over there, but let me first finish this off. Now, manual testing is about executing the manual test case. For now, understand it that way. So what I am saying, what is a test case? Let's say I say I am testing tutorialspoint.com. So I will say verify if tutorial point opens when we hit the correct URL. Let's say this was my test case. Now, this will have a step. Go to xyz.com and hit the URL, and then expected output page will be loaded with these elements. And you have to validate if these are present or not. This is my use case. Now, this I am doing right now manually. Correct? I am doing this manually. There are hundreds of test cases written. I am executing it manually. Now, what automation is doing over here? Now, automation is going to do the same thing without any manual intervention. Basically, my code is going to open a browser. It is going to hit the URL, and then it is going to verify whether these things are present on the page or not. That is what automation is. So that this is the difference between manual testing versus the automation testing. Now, one more very important point: automation does not mean Selenium, APM. These are the technologies that we use to do automation. What automation can be anywhere. Let's say I wanted in my team, I noticed a guy who is kind of spending hours to create a report. Every day he's taking all the bug from a sim, and then he is going and then he is actually uh, uh, pasting it on the mail and then he's sending. Now in this process he's spending at least 20 hours like let's say 3 hours a day or 2 hours a day. I can go ahead and automate the flow. Now I need to understand how the automation can be done. So what I need to do first, I need to break down the problem statement. I need to see, okay, from where he is getting the data, how he is getting the data. What is the way to automate that? Is there any way? So probably there I would get certain APIs, certain response, and I can see how I can get the data, how I can organize them, and then I can see how I can send an automated email. So for everything, all these small things, I just need to explore the technology and then join together to do the small automation. And that is what our automation means. Anything that you are doing manually, if it is done by a code, is an automation. So in manual testing, whatever executions we are doing manually, when the flows get automated, we are achieving the automation over there. Any yeah. Somebody was saying something. I would request everyone to kind of put things on the chat rather than asking directly, because it will be difficult for me to address everyone like this. Okay. Now, I talked about manual testing. I took a very basic example, right? I took a very basic example where I was op opening a browser, hitting a URL. Now, let's say uh, I need to go to this particular website. This is one basic e-commerce website. I want to go over here. This is again a dummy website. Let's say I went over here. I entered the URL. This is the task I wanted to do, and this was my test case, and now I want to automate it. So what is the very first thing I told you? Before starting the automation, analyze the problem statement. So what we want to do, we want to open a browser and we want to hit the URL. Now we need to understand in the market, do we have any technology or tool who can do this? Since this is very popular, we know that, okay, using Selenium, I can do this. Now, which programming language I can use? I can use Java, I can use Python, I can use Ruby, etc. I'm interested in Java. I'm a Java guy. So I am going to do with Selenium and a little bit of Java. Now, what I'm going to do, I am just going to create a very small framework. Since this is a kind of a boot camp kind of a thing held for the 3 days, in the real time, when you guys kind of, go through the course curriculum, we cover Java for 2 weeks. So do we cover everything? We cover everything that you need to work and that you need to clear the interview. We talk about Selenium. We talk about manual testing in detail. We talk about Jenkins. We talk about Git. We talk about how to trigger a code via Jenkins, how to trigger your Git repository via Jenkins. We talk about Cucumber BDD. We talk about TestNG. We talk about APM, API automation. We talk about why we are talking about. You told to know one technology. I know Selenium and Java. Why want to know so many things? That is going to build you a thought process. That how end-to-end an ecosystem works. Now, let me open, let's say, let me create a new project. Let me give it a name. Let's say GFG Bootcamp. Right. Now, I want to select a JDK. To use Java, we need a Java development kit to run the Java program. So I'm using JDK 17. All this, again, consider it as a step. I'm going to explain you in detail, like what happens, how it works. And here I'm going to select this Maven archetype. I'm going to create a Maven project. Now, what is a Maven? What it does? Again, we are going to talk about in detail. I just created one project. Let's say this window. Now, let's give it 2 minutes because the project will be loading. So if you see over here, it is processing things. So in couple of seconds, it will be ready. Yeah, so now it is ready. Now I will go over here. Let me remove this, not needed. Now let me create a small code. Let me say bootcamp. And let me create a package. Day first. Why am I writing it like this? Like we should always write a structured code. Now, let me take an example. Let me say bootcamp day first demo. Right. Now, I have just created a normal Java class, right? And I'm going to create a main method, public. Again, I'm going to explain this. What is public static void main? What is the reason why we write it like this? But execution right now, understand execution of a program begins. No, no, no. Don't do it with me. For now, just see what I'm doing. Okay. Try to analyze what I'm doing. This is like a boot camp. This is to give you a glimpse of how I teach, what I do, what you can learn from me, right? What is the style of teaching? So how usually I teach is I'm going to give you a problem. Like let's say we talk about one particular concept today, right? Be it any topic, be it manual testing, be it automation, be it coding, anything. So we let's say I talked about one topic for like let's say 1.5 hours or 2 hours, and then we do a live code. I'm gonna do in that 1.5 hours. I'm going to explain. I'm going to do some live coding. Focus over there what I'm doing, right? And once I explain the topic, when I explain the things in detail to you, after that I give you ample amount of time in the class itself to solve the problem live in the class. ask your doubt live in the class, and then you can, ask your queries. So in boot camp for now, I think we have limited time. I have to cover a couple of things. So just now focus on what I'm doing. So what was the agenda of this automation? Our agenda was to automate something. Any campus mantri here? What is campus mantri? I don't know. Okay. Now we plan to automate one website. We planned, ki, okay, I'm going to hit the URL, and after hitting the URL, I am going to actually see whether that page has been loaded or not. Or let's say I just wanted to hit the URL. I was doing it manually, right? So now what I can do if I have to write a piece of code, and again I know that I can use Java and Selenium. Okay, I created a project, a Java Maven project. Now how I can onboard a let's say let me search. Let me say syntax to let's say I was a very naive person. I wrote it like this. I went to Stack Overflow and I was looking for a simple solution. So it says, okay, let me modify it. Java. Okay, Geeks for Geeks website. Okay. Uh, okay. Cool. I can copy paste this, right? I can copy paste this code. Very, very good. I copy pasted it from Geeks for Geeks website. Let me remove this. Let me paste that. Oh, it didn't copy it. Now let me go back. Guys, please don't do that. Okay. Now I started getting errors. Now, what is this class name? Object is equals to new class name. I'm creating an object of a class and then trying to call some method. Now, what is an object? What is a method? Again, in the Java curriculum, we discuss all of these things in detail. For now, assume this is some gibberish which I'm writing, and it is going, this abracadabra is going to open a URL for me. Now, uh, let me remove this, is not needed. Now, why am I getting the error? It says create class WebDriver, create interface. No, I don't want to create class interface. What is missing? I do not have Selenium capabilities inside my project. I do not have Selenium capabilities. If I go and see over here, the dependencies, no, I do not have Selenium dependency. Now, how I can add a Selenium dependency? I have something called as form.xml file. Now, what I will do, I will go here and I will say Selenium Maven dependency. Go to Selenium Maven repository, click over here. Now, what it is going to do, if I copy paste this same thing over here, let's say under the dependency, let me remove the JUnit. I don't need it. Now, if you see over here, I'm getting an error. In the Maven, I can see this JUnit. So what I will do reload. I need to make sure that I'm connected to an internet. And when I reload, see, it is resolving the dependency. And now I see couple of things inside it, right? It has added couple of packages and it has removed the package of JUnit, right? This is what it is doing. The error is resolved. Now, if I go back over here, now it says import class. Earlier, it was asking me to create a class. Now it is saying import a class. Why? Because this class is already present. I have already got the dependencies of a Selenium. If I go ahead over here, if I drop down, I see the Selenium dependency has been added. What if I remove this? What if I remove this dependency again? I will explain what Maven does, what Maven is doing. Actually, if I reload the project, the dependency is gone. Error started coming back again. So what I need to do? I need to ensure that, I have the dependencies. And now again, if you go back and if you see the error is gone, right? Now, what I wanted to do, I wanted to go back and I wanted to hit this particular URL. Let me go back to the code again. Let me say, now what is a WebDriver? I'm going to talk about it. What is a Selenium? What is Java? What we are doing? I'm going to talk about all of those things. But now let me just run this code. Okay, we have a attendance list. Campus expert. Okay. Shreyash Singh is here. This is the attendance sheet. I don't know. Automation ran and it got closed very quickly. Let me run it again. Yeah, it opened a browser for me, right? It opened a browser for me. Correct. So what we did right now using a very small script, I kind of did a very small automation. So do we actually do this throughout? Uh, in Amazon also, do you do? Yeah, our automation work like this. Our code looks like this. It is structured. We use some more stuff. We don't use public static void main. We have certain concept over there, right? Uh, but what we do such kind of automation, right? For you, it will be or abracadabra. If I go over here, all of these things is gibberish. What is class? What is object? I'm pretty sure a lot of people are not here from the Java background also, right? But all I wanted to show you is this is how automation look like. This is how automation works. Now we build a lot of things on the top of it. Now I'm going to go here, I'm going to click here, enter the username, enter the password. I don't want to go right now because I wanted to talk a bit on the Java. Maybe I will start with some part of a Java today. I will start with, and again, I have a masala for Java. Uh, you have to only remember two things, classes and object, and that's it. Everything in Java revolves around this. Class, object. If these two concepts are good, if the concept of method is good, how to create a method, what is a parameterized method, what is a non-parameterized method, what is a parameterized constructor. If you are familiar with these things, you have already won the battle. And yesterday I attended the class, but not show the attendance in yesterday attendance link. Guys, do you want 5 minutes, 10 minutes to complete this attendance task? I can wait. That's fine. So what you guys, so how many of you over here know Java and how many of you don't know? What is one? No means one, don't know means zero. Okay, good, good. How many of you are okay? Now stop 1-0. Let's do one more thing. Uh, how many of you are fresher and how many of you are experienced? Fresher can reply F, experience can reply E. Okay. How many of you are experienced but into non-technical or manual testing? So manual testing can reply M, Non-technical can reply N. Most of you are fresher over here, I see. It's a good thing. Now, for the fresher, the good part is uh, two things are really good with the freshers. You guys are an empty brain, and when you appear for an interview, they don't expect you to know a lot. But if you know how end-to-end industry works, chances of you getting hired is very strong. Because, of course, your colleague has just presented a hospital management software, and you are talking about a real-time automation plan, right? Or a real-time case study, which he would be very surprised of. And he would know that, he will judge that you have some kind of mentor, but eventually he's not expecting you to answer everything. But this is going to give you an upper edge. Now, before I proceed ahead with Java, I will just take a pause for 5 minutes. I will take a break and I will resume. I will talk a bit more on the Java front, and I want to talk more about manual testing, because then only automation will make sense to you guys, that what we do and how it works. Meantime, request every one of you to jot down your questions and queries in the chat itself. I will talk about how industry works. Neve, exactly what you want to know. I actually covered how industry works. I wanted to understand from you what exactly you want to know. It's 9:56. We'll just start in another 5 minutes, so 5, 7 minutes. Okay, let's get started. Let me see. Is there any DSA workshop done by GFC? Yes, Karan, it is done. Hi, Monisha. Hi, Monisha. Hemant Kumar. Updesh Yadav, but yesterday I filled the attendance, but site not show the attendance. Mm, you get uh, extra points for attending attendance. My God. The entire discussion is on attendance. So what all you okay? Like I talk about it, SOC analyst, she told that they are developing a nice tool to better monitoring logs and an ID system that is. And I also ask others, but what exactly should I know about the company? Uh, I'm actually not clear with the question, Neve, but what I think that you're asking key towards more about the process and what a company does, it depends, right? Is there any better other framework better or similar to Selenium? Yeah, there are n numbers of framework which are even better than Selenium. I think we have now even we have something called as like there is a company who is developing an AI driven framework which actually work on the top of Selenium. I don't remember the name. I can figure out and tell it to you. It is also good. But Selenium is also good in terms of web. Selenium is pretty good. Uh, okay, what questions should I ask? Questions for a referral. I think you should first prepare yourself and directly ask for a referral. And in the interview, if they ask you, any questions for me, in that case, go ahead and ask something related to project or the process. That always helps. Better than any programming language, but it's under development. Can you just explain a bit because I'm not able to understand your writing very short lines. Catlon is that AI tool? I don't remember session. I need to check. There are multiple AI tools. Like we are currently using a tool which is called as Adams. So it's kind of a artificial intelligence where we just write a normal English language. It creates a script for me and it kinds of run. So there are different tools that way. So I'm open for Q&As right now. I wanted to understand what you guys think, right? Or what you guys, what kind of thought process you guys have when we talk about automation or what exactly you are looking, where exactly you want to be, what is your goal, right? What you're expecting from GFG. Thank you for getting offering this. Hopefully, I can catch up the replays. Uh, yeah. Can you explain how to write a? Yeah, yeah. So test case is nothing but we kind of when as I mentioned, when we do the testing, we execute multiple scenarios. So you are not going to remember all of them, right? For one particular application or a feature testing, let's say you wrote 100, 200 test cases. Are you going to remember all of them? No. So you kind of write it down. So you write it down in an Excel sheet, or you use a tools like TestRail to write the test cases and where you can manage your test cases. I'm going to take a detailed session maybe in tomorrow's session. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to explain Updesh. In tomorrow's session, maybe what we will do, I'm going to talk about a test plan and I'm going to talk about a test case, and then maybe I'm going to show you one small. I will talk about Java methods and classes and objects, and I will also kind of, build a one, I will automate one page for you end to end. So that will make some sense to you. And then I will push that code into a Git. I will show you then how I'm going to trigger it via Jenkins pipeline, how I'm going to create a job, trigger a, automation. So end to end, I want to give you guys a uh, gist of this domain. Yeah. Web scrapping, I know the Selenium is used for web scrapping, but yeah, it is used in automation testing all the time. Any other questions, queries, doubts anyone is having? What is Sir Follower Farm? I didn't get it. What is Sir Follower Farm? Can I use it with Node.js? What you want to use with Node.js? Guys, please don't comment on my LinkedIn post to accept the invite. I will do that. Not an issue. Um, I might, there would be some delays in the response, but definitely I'm going to revert you back. Yeah. So see, Surbi, this is a boot camp, right? Boot camp, we kind of cover what all topics we are going to touch. So we kind of touch base some things in a 2 days span. In first day is mostly introduction. We talk about the domain. We talked about the scope of the domain. You should know where you are going to put up your legs, right? But eventually, each and every topic we are going to talk in depth when we are in the real when the course start. We talk about in depth on each of the things. I'm very new and automating accounts on rotating proxy session. I don't know. Like some text is up, some text is down. Maybe it would be good if you. Acha, you are talking about this farming account, using automation for farming accounts and automating accounts on rotating proxy per session. Okay, so you do that, or you are asking how to do that? Okay. Okay. So what you do, Shreyash Singh? So guys, any other questions, confusions, doubt before I ramp up today's session? Sir, one more thing is contributing good. Yes, it do sometimes because interviewer, if you are explaining a project which is actually good, you have solved some real-time projects, and if interviewer asks you that, do you have some Git link? So you should have it handy. Good, Shreyash. Startups are the best place to learn. Somebody, I feel that if I would have joined directly Amazon as a QA engineer or a QAT, I would have achieved less in my career rather than the path that I came through. I think a startup gave me a lot of context of how things work in the industry. Amazon gave operations, taught me patience because everything is very difficult. Getting a project approved is very difficult. Getting a promo is very difficult. So it was painful, But when I come to now as a I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm up to. What is the next step? That clarity is needed. Otherwise, all the efforts goes in waste. Cool. Then I think we had a pretty good session. Any other question anyone is having? So you guys are all enrolled into GFG, or you kind of joined the session, or what you are expecting out from me in coming 2 days? What all I should cover? I am planning to talk about the automation end to end, covering the pipeline, covering the Jenkins, covering, and I'm going to touch base everything so that you have a gist of what you are going to learn. Uh, Thank you so much. That's what I'm saying. Ki your real time projects are going to help you a lot. Your real time projects. What is a real time project? People keep on saying real time. What is a real time project? Real time project means real time problem statement. You are creating hospital management website, or you're creating an application of Ola Uber. The source code is present on the internet. I'm not interested in that. So try to do something which is new, even if you're writing 20 lines of code. Definitely, Ronak. From so how the course looks like is we start like maybe tomorrow when we are talking manual. Today we talked about how industry works, where a QA stands, what a QA can do. Tomorrow, let's say if we are talking about manual testing, I might not be able to go too much in depth because I have limited time. I'm having hardly 3 days with you, right? I have to cover a lot. But that is just to give you a gist. In the real time, when we talk about manual testing, we spend 2 weeks on manual testing. We spend 4 classes on manual testing. We do real-time problem statement. We solve the real-time problem statement that is there in the industry. You will be creating a real-time test plan. You will be creating a real-time test cases. It will be reviewed by me. And then we will move to automation. You will learn not only how to automate, but you will learn how to create an automation pack. And for fresher, it is like a, you know, superpower, because nobody is expecting you that a fresher is coming and saying, I can think how our automation plan needs to be created. Nobody is expecting. And if you are that smart, getting trained over here and getting that smart, it is going to add value. Sir, it's true. Startups are Python, sir, is a new domain. Okay, what is the best language? There is no best language. One language, go in depth, learn everything. If you are a fresher, exactly, sir. You have so much experience to expand my knowledge. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be your mentor. How to get a job in off campus, or how to ask for any referral. See, off campus is a bit difficult. If companies are not coming, either you go via platforms like Geeks for Geeks. They have collaborations. They help you getting placed. They help you with the interviews. Placement is in your hand. They help you with the interviews. Or referrals, if you are asking, always make sure whenever you are reaching somebody on the LinkedIn, ask for a close referral. Means please uh, make sure that you are passing my resume to the hiring manager, respective hiring, because they might able to see that in the job portal. You might not be able to see the HM, but they can see. So if the chances of you getting an interview call is high, but make sure that you are prepared before you ask. And again, don't overthink. If you are prepared, don't overthink. Okay, right now I'm not prepared. Then give it a shot. But if you know that you're not prepared, you don't know things, what is the level, then don't. Why you're wasting your chance? Prepare for 6 months and try to get into it. Also, I have a question like on web Instagram, there are no API for updating nodes. So we can use Selenium, but many time meta detect. Yeah. You are right. It detects Selenium. Even one of my friend, he was doing a freelancing, it got caught off. So there are some other tools, but not very helpful. They are very smart meta people. Sir, my fourth sem just completed. I have interview for internship in fifth sem. I know Python, Java, improving my DSA, my SQL. and driving into data analysis and a bit AI ML. I made mini project like handwritten digit classification, Netflix movies and TV series data cleaning. Can you suggest me a project that can boost up for my resume? Again, as I told Shubhi, try to first go back. Go, okay, do one thing. Go to some nearby shop and ask what is the biggest pain point in your daily life with respect to your work. Note it down and try to see how you can resolve it via some software. This is your mini project. Try to make this and try to put it in your resume. Mm, Most important thing, technology, learn one technology, full stack development, learn full stack. SGET course, SGET, learn SGET. Prepare DSA, practice coding every day 1 to 2 hours. You will crack Microsoft. Microsoft level is not very high. Try, like, plan Google, you will clear all, whatever is beneath that. Okay. In all, in always on Android device, you can automate editor experiment like the song I listen. It automatically in Instagram. Want to do AWS and want to do AWS, any roadmap. AWS is a technology, Alisha. I will be very honest. AWS, even I know multiple services of AWS. Developer might know some more services of AWS, right? But domain specific to AWS is now very limited. Try to learn a core, uh, try to move into a core team instead of just relying on one technology or one tool. Web, I don't know. I need to search Shreyash for the same. Is DSA very important? Yes, to crack the interview, DSA is important. DSA is easy, guys. Come on, DSA is easy. DSA is not difficult. DSA is not difficult. I already gave you a trick to learn DSA, how you can, learn DSA very quickly. DSA is all about practice, how you are practicing, how you are actually, spending time with that. It's like a mathematics. That's it. Any other questions? Any other doubt anybody's having? I will take it as a no. Thank you so much for joining. What is the tip for DSA? I already shared DSA. Practice one code every day. Use AI. If you're not able to solve, try to debug the problem statement, but understand the full problem statement. And then another day move to a new problem statement. That's the ground rule for DSA. And keep doing it every day, and definitely you are going to understand. And prepare one concept like linked list, solve at least 10-15 questions, then move to the next topic. Thank you, Neil. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Have a great evening ahead. We will meet tomorrow, uh, and we will proceed ahead and we will talk more on the testing front.